What is up, guys? I'm going to show you how to run RetroArch and play some PS2 games and some GameCube games on your Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S. In my case, I'm using the Xbox Series S. You do need developer mode enabled, and you do need a developer mode license for you to be able to run this. But I've done a tutorial on that, and I'll put a link below if you haven't done that already. So in order for you to play GameCube games and PS2 games, you do have to set your dev mode storage device higher than its initial state. So click on Start and Manage Dev Storage. As you can see, I've already got 76 gigabytes reserved for RetroArch. So you can do this, or you can set it higher, or 65 is a good size. Obviously, the higher you go, the less storage you're going to have to play actual Xbox Series games, but you do need to set this in order to play PS2 games or GameCube games. If you click save, this will tell you that it's going to delete any apps that you have, so make sure that you have saved whatever folders or backed up whatever files before you do this, because you do have to run RetroArch again. So once you've done that, you want to go on to RetroArch. Make sure you update everything, update the core info files, assets, databases, overlays, and stuff like that. And we need to go on to a computer or a Mac, whatever you're using, and download a few things. Okay, so you want to download the psxpc, which is the PS2 emulator. Click on download, and then this drop down menu will come up here. You want to click on development for Windows, click on that, and the latest version is usually at the top, and you can see how old this version is. Click on download, and then it will be this one here. Download that, and then we need the Dolphin emulator for GameCube games. Click on that, and then you'll be on the Dolphin homepage. Click on download. Download the latest version, which is usually at the top. Dolphin will now download. Once you have those files, we'll start with psxpc sx2. Double click on the RAR file, extract. Find the folder, open it, double click on psxx2. It will say welcome to psxx2, and then click next. It will generate some more folders here. Click next again, and then just cancel. Basically, we need this whole folder here. BIOS is empty, but we do need to put PlayStation 2 BIOS in there, which I can't show you how to do that on YouTube, just in case. Well, I'm not allowed to, basically, so you're going to have to source the BIOS yourself somewhere, or you can message me. I'm going to rename this to just psxx2. I'm going to put this onto my USB thumb drive. While that's doing that, I'm also going to download the Libretro psxpc file, which you would need to put into your core of your RetroArch. Basically download that. We don't need to put this into our USB stick, but we're going to have to copy this later on, and I'm going to show you how to do that after I've done putting the GameCube one on. Right, so grab your GameCube emulator, put that into your USB thumb drive. Double click, and extract it. This will take like a few minutes to extract. Double click the Dolphin Master folder, double click that. Basically all we need is the sys folder here. So we're just going to cut this, paste it into the root of our USB stick. Now we need to create a folder called Dolphin/Emu, which I already done here, but you basically need this folder here. And now I'm going to copy this sys folder onto Dolphin/Emu. Just going to overwrite what I already have here just to demonstrate. Okay, so you should have something that looks like this. Dolphin Emu sys. This will work for Wii games as well. Then the PC psx2, PlayStation 2 emulator. I'm going to put the BIOS in as well. Just all of these. PSxpc2 BIOS folder. I don't know if you need all of these. You should only really need a few. But some of these are for PAL games, PAL BIOS, and also the NTSC BIOS for PS2. These are the two folders that you need, and we're going to revert back to the Xbox and use the File Explorer to put these into the correct folders. Okay, so let's back out of RetroArch. Click on My Files Explorer. Now, removable storage device is my USB stick. Isolated storage is the Xbox internal storage. We need to click on my USB stick, and then let's copy the PlayStation 2 first. So press Start button, copy folder. Now I'm going to open up another file tab just because it makes it a little bit more easier navigating through the internal Xbox storage and your USB stick. So click on Isolated Storage. Now we'll load this up, and we need to go on this tab here and click on Packages. Once you click on Packages, click on the three dots up here. And I'm going to click on List. And this will just make everything a little bit more easier to navigate. And then this is our RetroArch folder. Something that ends with D7DY, starts with 1E4C. And you can tell that is your RetroArch folder by seeing what's in here. This is typically what RetroArch looks like. We need to click on local state. Need to scroll all the way down to system. Click on that, press start. I'm going to paste the PS2 emulator. And this also has the BIOS files. I'm going to do the same with the GameCube. So go back to your USB stick. Press start, copy folder. Back into the system. Press start, paste. Now this probably take a few minutes. GameCube one seems to be a little bit bigger than the PS2 emulator. Both of these are the latest version as of 19th of January 21. Okay, so you should have something that looks like this. So we've got both emulators and BIOS in here. We shouldn't need to do anything else now. You can back out of this, so press your home button, press start, quit. Now there's one more thing I need to do, is I need to put the Libretro file, PlayStation 2 Libretro file, into the core, and I'm going to show you the easiest way to do that, as well as the easiest way to transfer your PlayStation 2 ROMs, as well as your GameCube ROMs, onto your internal storage of your Xbox series. So rather than running the games off a USB drive, which doesn't work really, is not really that great in terms of speed, well, you need to transfer the files onto the Xbox internal storage. Just a little quick tip here: if you've already set up your RetroArch with playlists and set up a bunch of games ready to play with box art and stuff, and you need to update RetroArch to a newer version, then you can save your local state folder, which is this one here under the root of your RetroArch. So you can actually copy this folder and put it onto your storage device. Well, I've already done it here, as you can see, but I can literally just copy this folder here and then go on to your isolated storage, which is your internal Xbox storage, and I can just paste this and overwrite this folder. This will take a while because I did have quite a lot of ROMs and playlists set up, but this is just an easy way if you need to update your RetroArch and then start from the beginning. You can just do this. Alright, so we're back onto our PC now, and remember this file here, this .dll file, we need to copy that onto our core folder. But in order to do that, we need to go back onto our Xbox device portal. So with the remote access, remember the address. So we need to enter that, and then it will prompt you with your username and password. So enter that, and then we click on File Explorer. On the right here, click on Browse. Just need to input this command here. So what this does is this prevents you from having to always enter this username and password. we need to use this address on a file explorer to be able to remotely transfer any folder or files that we want to transfer onto our Xbox Series. So click on search bar on Windows, CMD, command prompt, go run as administrator. Copy this here. So this just adds the credentials of your username and password, and it kind of just stops you from having to always input your username and password. Click enter. Credential added successfully. You can exit off that. Copy this address here. Open up any Explorer. Paste it on. Press enter. Usually it will ask you for your username and password, but because we've done that command prompt, we're allowed to just enter the address here. And now we are in our Xbox Series folder, and this is our RetroArch folder. We want to click on the second one, and then you'll see a folder called cores. Double click on that. These are all your cores for all the emulators that it's downloaded, but it doesn't manually put the PS2 Libretro file on here, so we need to manually do that. So again, this is the link that you need to download from, and you'll find this on the description down below. Click on this, copy, go back onto your series folder, paste, and now we have our PS2 core folder there, core file, sorry. And we also need to transfer some games, so we want to go back onto Windows Apps, and within this root folder, where you see cores, assets, apps, x metadata, I'm going to make a folder called games. So instead of having to do this on the My Files Explorer on the Xbox Series, we can do this from our PC, which makes life a lot easier. I'm going to make a folder called GC for GameCube, folder for PS2 games. Now this does take a while to transfer because it's going through your network, so depending on your router, etc., and how big the game is. GameCube isn't so bad because they're normally about 1.5 gigs. So I've just got Naruto here, Clash of Ninja. I'm just going to cut this, paste this onto our GameCube folder in our Xbox Series internal storage. So paste that onto there. It says it's going to take 5 minutes, so that's not too bad. I've chosen the smallest PS2 game I have, which is Street Fighter EX3. Paste it onto our PS2 folder. So you don't normally have to do this with anything below PS2 or GameCube. They can run off your external hard drive or external USB stick, but for games larger than a gig or two, this is what you'll have to do. And also you need to make sure that under your development settings that you've set your storage way above the standard size of 5 gigs, I think. But I've already shown that on my previous tutorial how to do that. So yeah, just make sure you set your dev storage to about 76 or even 65 gigabytes. Then you can run basically PS2 games and GameCube games. Right, so both those games have now transferred over the network. As you can see, they're both unRAR'd, so just be aware of that. We can now revert back to our Xbox. Right, so back on the Xbox now, click on RetroArch. Now I'm just going to go on Online Update and just update everything again. Or update the core info files, assets, databases, update overlays and slang shaders. Alright, so once it's all updated, just go on configuration. Go on to configuration file and then save current configuration. I'm just going to back out of RetroArch. Again, make sure this is running as a game and not an app. So to just double check, hit back on your Xbox controller, view details, and choose game, which is already under game. Now I'm just going to find the PS2 game. I'm going to make a manual scan, so make a manual playlist. So I'll click on system name and choose Sony PlayStation 2. The content directory will be under S. So this is your remote access folder. So again, instead of having to load all the games onto onto your USB external hard drive or stick, and then having to go on File Browser or File Explorer on the Xbox, you can just directly transfer them from your PC. So it's under S, and then under Program Files, and Windows Apps, and then it's the second folder here, and then under Games and PS2. Scan this directory. Default core, so as earlier I put in the Libretro PS2 core, and normally it's not under here, you have to manually put it in. So it should be under Sony PS2 right here. So click on that and then start scan. And then the game is under here. I'm just going to double check what driver it's running at, because sometimes this video driver changes. I don't know why. We're going to switch to D12. We're going to run this game. This is the Street Fighter EX3. Again, this takes about a minute to load. And there we go. As you can see, the scaling is a little bit off. So to fix that, we just press start and select. Click back. Go on the video. Windowed mode. Change this to 2. it will refresh. Hopefully it will just align the, there we go, align the format correctly. So we can just quickly try this. Do a dynamic battle. And this actually seems to be running pretty smoothly. I will try some higher demanding PS2 games, but I'll probably do just another video on that. Just see what the series is capable of, or especially this Xbox Series S. So I'm sure there'll be slight differences between the Series X and the S in terms of performance of PS2. Right, so that seems to be working fine. We can exit off this. Let's just try the GameCube game. Oh, it's come back now. I just had to load a game then, and then the icons have come back. I just need to go on user interface and then pause content when menu is active is off. Pause content when not active is off. And then let's search for manual scan again. Let's do this for our GameCube game. Program files, Windows apps. So for Nintendo GameCube, we need the Dolphin emulator. So again, this will play GameCube and Wii games. Looks about right, and we can just start scan. Scan is complete. Click on that and then run. Oh, it's just crashed. If this does happen to you, like especially if you're playing games larger than a gig, what's useful is to clear the playlist. So I'm just going to go on to all the way down to playlists under settings, manage playlists, just history, clean the history playlist. There we go, there's the GameCube game running. Naruto, Clash of Ninja. Don't hear a sound though. Oh, there we go. It seems to be running pretty smooth. Controls are backwards, but so for this, the analog actually works. So yeah, that works pretty well. We can back out of this. Those content. Little hiccups with the sound, but it's quite minor. Oh, it's just completely gone out of RetroArch. We're just going to go back into it now. I'm just going to show you if you have any problems, because I did have some problems with GameCube ones, where you load the game up and all you can hear is the sound and you can't see the picture. So if that happens to you guys, then just double check what driver this is set to, because like I said, this changes every time. So for some reason this changes. So just make sure which driver you're using. If you do have any troubles loading any ROMs, it's probably because the video driver or the drivers for the video has changed back to GL. So just change it back to 12. But like I said, with the Dreamcast, I had issues running certain drivers. For some reason, GL was the best one. I don't know. It's just a case of messing around with the settings. And certain PS2 games I did have issues with running full speed. Again, this is alpha stage of the PS2 emulator for the Xboxes, I believe. So this is subject to change, and I guess this will improve in the future for whatever, for the compatibility list. Like certain games run better than others. It's just trial and error, testing which games work. I'm sure there's a spreadsheet out there to tell you which games are compatible for the PS2. I know the actual PS2 emulator doesn't have a 100% compatibility list, but for now, some games do work, so that's a bonus. Have box art, cover art, and then you can go on to all the way down to just user interface and appearance, and then you can set their thumbnails on. So for screenshots, thumbnails for box art as well, or title screen. So you can mess around with that. So yeah, that is pretty much how to play PS2 and GameCube games. I haven't got any Wii games to test, but they would pretty much be the same as running the GameCube games, because as it runs off the same emulator. So I hope that's been useful for you guys, and that you've got this up and running to play all your retro games on your Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S. If you have any questions, then please feel free to comment below. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you again on another tutorial.